Yo, what is happening? Brand new month, brand new day. And as I said in the promos, brand new theme. What are we going to be doing for the month of November? Well, I decided what I want to do because I'm the kind of guy that likes to be productive. What up, Ben L? How are you, sir? Welcome. What's up, Mr. Green? Welcome to the Couchdoodles Live. This is the 1st of November, and this month I've decided to do a new theme. I've decided to combine tasks. It's called the kill two birds with one stone. And what are those birds? The birds are doing this fun and exciting YouTube stream. The other bird is developing Black Flag, The Return. The story's been written now for some time. It's always in constant development. But one of the things that I have to do in the interim before I start laying out the pages is developing ideas like, what do their weapons look like? What do the ships look like? What does the inside of the headquarters look like? All kinds of things like that. Maybe even figure out, what do the bad guys look like? So with that thought in mind, I thought it would be exciting for you guys to see the process and be witness to it firsthand as it happens. I don't know if anybody's ever done this before. Maybe they have, maybe they haven't. But we're going to do it now. We're going to do it today. We're going to do it throughout the month of November. I'm not sure if it'll be an everyday thing. Because like today, got up early, work on Doom Patrol, work on He-Man. Got my pages sent off today. Not as many as I had wanted to. But nonetheless, I worked hard. But I want to be able to do something fun with our time. And that's it. Hopefully you guys like the idea. You like my shirt? Check out the shirt. It's a Black Flag shirt. I had these made last year, right before Comic-Con, and I think I made 10, and I sold all of them except for the one I'm wearing. So if you guys want me to make more, who am I to say no? Let's see who's all in the chat. We've got a mighty 8 folks on the chat right now. Got Mr. Milton in the house. Captain Hiltz, what's up, man? Welcome to Fragaboom Live. Bounce as soon as I head to work. Ben L, I'm glad you're excited for Black Flag. I don't think anybody is as excited as I am. Rooster Puncher, I'll tell you, the process of what? What is the process that I'm talking about? Well, the process of development. Before I go into a story, especially if it's something that I've created, I will design environments, I will design characters, I will design props, much like they do in animation. And that way, when I go to lay the thing out, I have proper staging. It's something that I learned while working in storyboards, both live action and animation, that storytelling works a little bit better if you have a sense of geography, if you have a sense of continuity. So I want to take all the things that I've learned since I've been out of comics and take them with me to comics. You will be seeing a peek of that in the new issue of He-Man, which comes out this month, 19 days from today, the 20th of November. To celebrate that, I will be doing a signing at Kapow Comics over in Cumming, Georgia. So if you guys want to check that out, that'll be Saturday around noon in Cumming, Georgia. Very first signing for He-Man. Also keep your ears out and eyes out. They're going to be doing some social media promos for He-Man coming up next week, where I'll have the great pleasure of sitting with Mr. Tim Seeley and answering questions about the new comic we have coming out. I'm really excited. I feel like I'm starting to get a hang of these new things I'm doing. Issue 1 was really like getting back into the run of things, doing sequential comics, laying out a comic book page, laying out a sequence. Issue 2 was learning new characters, drawing a space adventure, which I hadn't done before. Issue 3, I'm experimenting with using a lot more placement of contrast and values, something called no tan. If you look up no tan on the internet, or even say on Pinterest, which I highly recommend, you'll see it's the balance of light and dark. Mike Mignola is one of those guys who does it very well. Jorge Zafino is another guy who does it incredibly well. There's a lot of guys that do it well, and it's not just in comic book art, but that is something that I'm trying to work on for issue 3 of He-Man, and I'm starting to really enjoy doing that. Saves some time too, but it also increases the mood. But to answer your question, Spencer, Rooster Puncher, my friend, I will be developing Black Flag concepts this month of November, to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I'll be able to do our live streaming. We'll be able to talk comics. We have our first guest coming on Tuesday, Art to Bear of Black and White fame, also of X-Men, X-Factor, Cable, X-Force. He also worked at Extreme Studios. He'll be coming talking about his new concept and Indiegogo campaign, as well as taking a trip down memory lane. I also had the great pleasure of talking with Louis LaRosa. I don't know if you know his work. He did a lot of really great work over at Valiant on Bloodshot. He is going to be coming to visit with us one of these days this month here in person, because he also lives in Georgia. So all my Georgia friends, I'm going to try to get over. I've invited Mark Brooks. Mark Brooks will be coming. I don't know which point in time he'll be coming, but he's down for it. I'm also going to talk to some other locals like Allison Sohn and Adam Hughes. So a lot of really great things coming up, not having to be tied down to one thing. And I'm going to show you my exploration and development process, no holds barred. In fact, I will give you a peek behind the curtain, full transparency, so you can see where I find my inspiration and things like that. They say some people steal and genius, or no, what is it? Something borrow and then geniuses steal. I don't remember what the quote is. You guys know the quote. I am neither stealing or borrowing. I am being inspired by and getting the feeling of. So when we go on Pinterest and we look at the secret Black Flag board, we're going to see some of the things that really excite me and how they make their way into comics. Because ultimately, like I said on one of our live streams, everything is a remix. Everything that we see in this world is remix. Food is remix. Fashion is remix. Music is remix. Movies, comics, everything's a remix. You take one thing, you take another thing, you smash it together, you take that third thing, and you make a new thing out of it. And then, if we're lucky, one day someone will take that thing, like say Overwatch. If you've ever played Overwatch, it's got a lot of Black Flag feels to it. You take Overwatch, it's inspired by me, I get inspired by other stuff, so it's a big, giant, happy thing. So that's what we're going to do this month. Let's go to the board, check some things out. Let's see who's up in here. Akuma, what's up? Put the shirt on TeePublic. Dan Price, I'm going to put the shirt up on Couchdoodles.com, and I'll tell you why. And I'm going to teach you guys something right now. I am going to teach you guys how to make money as an artist. There are a lot of services out there, and I'm not going to knock them because they take the headache out of making stuff. Say like Redbubble, you come up with an idea, you want it on a mug, you want it on a shirt, you want it on a diaper, you want it on a whatever. You can do that. They'll make it for you. You don't even have to worry about it. You just put your design up, send people that way. Problem is Redbubble takes a big giant chunk of that, okay? That's okay. When I do my Shopify store, certain shirts I have go through certain companies because they offer a better value, better shirt, and a better overall experience. On something like the Black Flag shirts, though, I have a guy in California, a guy named Peter. He's PAO Designs. And he was able to make this shirt for me, if you can hear that, old school silkscreen, because I wanted it to feel like the 90s. I didn't want a new school direct-to-garment. I'll probably offer those as a premium version, but I wanted to feel what it felt like in the 90s. So I made a limited run of these, and when I have them made, I have them shipped to me with shipping and production. I actually make a decent overall profit that's fair to everybody, as opposed to something like Redbubble. They have this sliding scale where you want to make 10%, 20%. Well, nobody wants to pay $50 for a phone cover, but when they're taking as much as they are, that becomes a problem. But who knows? Who knows? Let's take a look. I am staying productive. Yes. Show us your sauce, good sir. It's another glass of wine. I'm stepping off the whiskey a little bit, and my wife made a lovely spaghetti this evening. She's got this really cool new recipe. It's not nothing mind-breaking, but when we go to the grocery store, you can also get ground pork. It's like ground beef, but ground pork, and it tastes lighter. It's less greasy, and it's more delicious. My wife made that, and the wine goes with it well. If we have something like ribs, I will grab a whiskey or a beer. I'm a big-time food pairer. So that's what's in there. Make money, have more shirts. Please, howdy. That's right, Andrew J. You know what's up. A production Bible. That's right. We're going to make something like that. And some of the stuff you see us making here will make it there. So I'm still wondering what I'm going to develop today, because I will tell you right now the first sequence of Black Flag. How about that? The first sequence. I won't even give you all of the sequence. We'll just have a little bit. We start off. Oh, I froze. Maybe I shouldn't tell you. I'm kidding. We start off, there's some crazy melee in Dagger City. The underground is opened up, so much so that the underground infrastructures, buildings have toppled. There's smoke in the sky. Mayhem. Coast Guard's been called in. Why is the ground collapsing? Suddenly out come these weird sort of techno-covered lizard ninja creatures, like the most insane-looking, teched-out, armored, reptilian, weird, alien-looking things coming out of the ground. The news report says we had been warned about this, and the blah blah blah. Our utility bots have gone sentient and joined symbiotic with the creatures below. You guys remember Gills? Remember him? So Gills meets a little bit of AI tech, causes this threat. We then go up with the news. We see a news chopper falling along the Black Flag. I don't know what you want to call it. Not a helicarrier. It's much smaller, like a shuttle sort of thing. They're inside. They're given the little pep talk. We get a little bit of an introduction to each of the characters. One of the people that isn't there is Spot, which is kind of odd. We find out why he's not there, but everybody else is present, including Bubble. They jump out of the helicarrier at us in a full glory, and then as they're falling, we get some banter. We get right in to the fight, and then we are going to see a little bit of Sniper doing his thing, a little bit of Gorilla doing his thing, a bit of Raiden, a bit of Rascal, a bit of Geisha, a bit of Bubble. Then we're going to see how their teamwork works together, and that's all you get for right now. And that's not even a plot, that's a sequence. So, just in this sequence alone, Dagger City needs to be developed, because all I've ever really shown of Dagger City, as you saw in our flip through yesterday, is a couple of buildings that looked old school, some faraway shots that looked a lot like New York City, but we've never really been in the midst of Dagger City. So I need to design some of that. I need to design the Black Flag ship, the thing that's carrying them. When they jump out of the plane, are they wearing the same stuff we usually are seeing them in? Or are they wearing new outfits? I get a lot of comparison to Rascal and Deadpool. I had a conversation with Rob Liefeld about this, because that is Deadpool's dad and creator. And I told him I'm thinking about changing him up a little bit, because that's not really the intention of Rascal. Rascal's his own guy, so maybe some new Rascal. Maybe we'll play around with some new Rascal designs. We've never really seen Bubble use her powers. Bubble's power is force field bubbles that she can put around herself and not be hurt, or put around a threat and that threat can't hurt her. So we're going to see some of that. We're going to have to design some of that. Gonna have to design the news chopper. What do the people look like? Also, more importantly, what is that threat? Those techno aliens, those weird things that combine with the gills genetics along with the AI of the utility drones. What happens? What do they look like? Do they look cool? What happens when you kill one? Do they combine together? We don't know. That's what we're going to do this month, is show some of that stuff. Let's go into the boards and see what's happening. Can't wait for the man comic. 19 Days to Motu. That is correct, Mr. Milton. Your mannequin should have the black shirt on. You're right, comics legend. He should. His name is Stanley. This is one of my favorite comic book images of all time, this page out of Dark Knight. This right here, I don't know if you guys have ever seen this before other than on every episode, but this is a one-of-a-kind grave hoodie with the dog and cat show icons on it. And I can get those made because I have the fabric. La Rosa is a god. Yes, he is the man. He is the man. Art Bear is the man. Dudes, what's happening? What's happening, Chris? Thank you for joining. Good to have you. Rodwell, thank you. We were just talking about this shirt. I had 10 of them made. I happen to keep one of them. You will see this in the interviews that we will be airing later this month. Love your setup. Really laid back. What up, Cruder Quotient 1? Thanks, man. I appreciate it. We have a good time here on the show. And it's a big dialogue. Most of the time it's just me talking and answering questions and telling stories. But this month we are going to have 2 guests already booked. We have Art Bear coming in on Tuesday via satellite from California. And we have Louis LaRosa coming in person at some point this month. Let's see. Right on, the 90 shirt concept. Screen printing shirts is how I got through college. Screen printing was my first job. I love old school. What up, Ole656? I'm seeing a lot of new faces. Dave Lewis, my man. You guys see Dave Lewis right there? You guys need to give him a big giant round of applause. He was the original producer of the Fragaboom song. And when you hear zoom, 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 give me some room, give me some of that Fragaboom, that is him saying those words. So you guys give him a salute and a thank you for that old school jam from 1994. 25 years ago, we made that in Black Hole Records with Mace Man on the engineering board, Dave on the MPC, and just jammed away in that studio. It was a first for me. Very exciting times. Should I get Domino's or Papa John's? Paulus, I'm a bigger fan of Papa John's. They just seem to have doughier dough and more tomatoey sauce. My brother used to work at a Domino's, so I just got used to Domino's a lot. So I don't know, maybe that's it. Old school is the best school. Bjorn Kuma, 8877, welcome. Like I said, I'm seeing a lot of new faces. Welcome and thank you for joining. If you want to see some of the back episodes, like let's just call them back issues, because I've got back issues. If you want to see the back issues, just go check them out. We do a drawing every day. Today, we are going to do some development of Black Flag, the comic that debuted from Image Comics in late 93. The color version of the book debuted in late 94, went through 95 with its last story seeing print in Asylum number 5 in 1996. Black Flag has seen other different peaks in the landscape out there. My brain just froze. You know when you see concepts but the word doesn't come? So Black Flag has been a t-shirt. It has been the Ultra Pop t-shirt, of which only 23 were made. Maybe we'll pull it up on the iPad in a little bit. So Sniper was there. I did a few Sniper drawings for Daily Doodles back in 2015. Those got out there. A few Rascal drawings have got out there. Of course, we have what I call the big granddaddy of Black Flag images, and that is this one here. This one is the cover of Black Flag number 1. The keen eyes that look down below my signature will see that it was signed 10/31/94. So that makes this piece 25 years old, 25 years and 1 day. That's kind of crazy to think about, that much time has come by ever since. But what we're going to be doing now is developing the visuals in the world of the new Black Flag. And I'm telling you guys, that little sequence I told you about, if it sounded fun to you and exciting to you, imagine all of the bullet shells, all of the action, all of the over-the-top, juiced-up, Mountain Dew-fueled, Michael Bay explosion-ridden stuff. That'll be the opening sequence for Black Flag. So those are some of the pages you're going to see in the campaign. So you're going to see me develop those this month, the little parts of that. That's right, the bad guys, the good guys, the vehicles, the props, the environments, just like you would in an animated feature, but you guys get to be here as we do it. And like I said, full disclosure, you're going to see where I take a peek into ideas, where I get some of my ideas from, and where I make the soup that is Black Flag. Let's see what else we got in here. Old school, that's right. It was that far back ago, man. That is right. Audio Odyssey, okay. This is making me so happy. Dave Lewis, Audio Odyssey is David Fraga. That is my brother, the other MC on the Fragaboom demo. We would be the three MCs on that demo. I like to sing about the Moona and a Juna and a Springer. Oh man, good stuff. We're going to make those songs available as well as a free download so you guys can hear the old joint. It's a record we made back in the day when Black Flag was still made. And we are also going to be making a new album to go along with Black Flag this time around. We're going to just do a full-on boomerang on you. The art is older than the girl I'm dating. Akuma? Good on you, my man. Good on you. Will you be drawing the comic on your old image paper? Comics legend, that is a fantastic question. So this is my process. I'm doing layouts on the iPad. From those layouts, I will be doing pencils on the iPad. Those pencils will then go over, let me see if I can zoom in on it right there. See right there, that thing? My man Brian Pierce hooked me up with that. That is a full-size Epson printer that can print the blue lines on the image board. Yes, they will be on the image board. Those will then go to Ken Brusnack, letterer extraordinaire, one of my favorite letterers of all time. He did all of Howard Chaykin's work, including American Flag. He's also working with him on Hey Kids Comics, but you can also see his classic work where I fell in love with his work, which was in the Old School Punishers, written by Mike Barron and drawn by Will Spertasio. Let's see here. And of course, inked by the best, Adelso Corona. Colored by one of our admins that you see, Matt Yackey. And see that? Mike Green says he's got the sniper shirt. He was one of the steadfast old schoolers that caught that when it came out back in 2015. It is one of those images where I'm really, really excited about it. In fact, if you go on YouTube, there is a making of that piece. I believe it's in the Fragaboom Show, episode 3, where you can see it get inked up and everything that went into it. Indiegogo or Kickstarter. Cruder Quotient, that is also. Dave Lewis, hold on a second. You say you want a track on this new one? Sir, anytime. You are Pimp Dad. You are Dave Lewis. You are my friend. You are my homie. You are a genius. Always welcome. Of course. Yes. Quotient, Indiegogo or Kickstarter? Question. Let's see. I want to weigh the pluses and minuses of both. I've seen great success come out of both. I've also heard different things about Indiegogo where you could keep it open as a store. And I've also heard that if you don't make all your money, let's say you get all the way up to 90% of your money that you need to make, well, you get to keep that money and you can use that money to continue to make your thing. That's exciting. With Kickstarter, if you get all the way up and if you're a penny off, you get nothing. You don't even get to fund your book. You got to go back to go. So I don't know. I've seen guys, like I said, get great things from both. I need to do further investigation. I had a nice conversation with Mr. Rob Liefeld today. Had a great talk for about an hour. We were talking about printers and different options and things like that, as far as what can be done. He's been a wonderful ally and friend as far as helping out the old school, you know. And the other piece of news, like I said, is it will be coming out from Maximum Press. Rob is letting me license the label, as he put it, for 1 penny. So I get to slap the Maximum Press logo on my comic, and it'll go along with all of the other Maximum Press comics, all for the price of licensing fee of 1 penny. That is a very kind and generous thing. Rob, if you see this, you are thanked. The dudes in the chat room, thank you. And dudes can be ladies too. I like the name dudes, and I think I'm gonna make a shirt for you guys. DOODZ. Gonna have to get that in a wrap. That's a nice DOODZ. Represent team. Let's see. You have any original art available during the crowdfunding campaign? Akuma, yes. In fact, almost. I have to talk to Delso about this, but I would say almost all of the art from the book will be available as tiers for the campaign. I don't know if what he wants to do with his pages. I'm a even Steven kind of guy where the traditional thing is to give your inker 1 out of every 3 pages. So what he does with his pages is entirely up to him. For my pages, they will be available. There may be 1 or 2 in there that I won't let go because I hear music when I look at them, or they end up becoming something else. Like, for example, this cover. I'm going to bring it up again because it's such a fun cover to look at. This cover went to my friend Will Perdomo, who will also be on the show. Why? Because Will is also coming in to write this with me. Will is a very intelligent, very old school fan. In fact, Will and I first met back in 1995, and he became an intern at Extreme Studios at the young age of 12 years old. He was an intern during the summer. He would do things like make copies and all that stuff, but he and I became very, very good friends. And for his 16th birthday, I brought 2 FedEx boxes to him, and one had a bunch of pages in it, and one of them had the Black Flag cover in it. And I said to him, pick a box. I didn't even know. They could have been whatever. I said, pick a box, any box. Gave him the box. He opened it up, could not believe it. I said, you chose wisely. And he's had that hanging on his wall ever since. So he's been a Black Flag super fan since back in the day. He's been almost as big of a fan as long as I have. Because I'll tell you what, it sounds crazy, but I guess that's what you got to do. I'm a fan of my own children, right? I love my kids. Black Flag, I'm a big fan of, and that's probably why you're going to be able to feel the enthusiasm come through on the book. You'll feel the enthusiasm come through on He-Man. I'm giving my all on that. But Black Flag is going to get me up every morning, and I'm going to say, oh yeah, I get to do this. Where He-Man, sometimes I go, let's go kick some ass. Get my big boy pants on and kick some ass. Let's go back to the board and see what else is going. I like donating to Indiegogo more. Really don't know why, but I use that service way more. Excellent. Indiegogo takes less percentage, and the in-demand store is great. My comic is in demand right now. I'm about to hit 5K. Zaid, congratulations. I wish you could share a link. Tell us a way to find it if you want to, tell us the project name and that sort of thing so people can check it out. Got 19 people in the house. Okay, here is the question. Do we want today to work on a character, a vehicle, an environment, or a prop? Let's give it a vote, dudes. We got an uneven number of 19 in there, so something's gonna win. Akuma, I need that cover in HD for my PC wallpaper. That will be coming as a download. I'm also going to talk to the amazing Mr. Yaki to see if he will do a recolor. So that'll be a good time. So what do you guys want to do? You guys want to do props? Do you want to do vehicles? Do you want to do characters? Do you want to do environments? Let's find out. I'm going to take a sip of wine and see what you guys decide, because we're going to crank up the iPad and start developing. You guys having a good Friday night? You could be anywhere else, but you're hanging out with me and the other dudes, and I appreciate that. I don't see any answers yet. Maybe we're that far behind on the stream. Maybe that's what it is. Anyway, I'm gonna power this bad boy up and get us ready for some development time. The other thing I want to warn you guys about is I did something a couple years ago, and I called it Flowvember, where I do a little bit of a freestyle, and that might end up happening. Better do a kickstart first and IG second. You can go one way, kickstart, IGG, both get onto this, but you can't go the other way. Jawa Express, how are you, man? Welcome to the show. Can you explain that a little further? I don't know what that... If you go kickstart to IG, but you can't go the other way, why can't you go Indiegogo kickstart? Why is it kickstart Indiegogo? I don't know anything about that. Hello, Black Flag. Hope you can come back to Cali so I can have you sign them. Until the light be, what's up, man? I'll be coming back to California at some point, not to live, but to visit. More than likely, it'll probably be up in the Bay, because that's where family is. Possibly in Southern California, that's where friends/family are. So we'll see. We got one for vehicle, one for character. One for vehicle, one for character. Interesting. Okay. Let's see. I'm feeling like this stream is much further behind than it usually is. Oh yeah, we are like probably about a minute behind, which is really weird. That's 2 for vehicle, 1 for character. All right. So Flowvember is where I might have to wrap. That's 3 for vehicle, 1 for character. Interesting. Very interesting. So there are a couple of vehicles that I could work on. One of them is Geishas, who is our... Essentially, she's a female Tony Stark. Think of her that way. She owns Emoto Industries. She's an executive. She's also a superhero. She's the money behind the organization. And she is also upholding her father's tradition of creating a, what do they call that? Not a refugee. What is it called? Not a reserve. I don't remember what it's called, but it's a place for people to hide away if they need to hide away. So, for example, refuge, a place of refuge. Thank you. Refugee the word was good. Today my brain is broken. That's one of the things that's really hard about doing these live streams late at night. Is usually I've done a full day of work. So imagine, drawing for 12, 14 hours straight, running the imagination hardcore on multiple projects, and then coming and talking. So I get a little jello. Okay, let's see. vehicle, character, vehicle, characters, vehicle, or a werewolf. There is no werewolf in this story unless I decided to put one in it. And believe me, this story is so crazy that anything's possible. So eventually we will see a bit more as we go down the month, and we will get a peek more into where we're going and where we're headed, and we'll see some stuff. I just realized I was a minute behind in the stream. Yeah, Rooster Puncher, there's something weird going on. Like my reviewing iPad here is a bit behind, so I'm not really sure what's going on. Okay, but what it's looking like from here is vehicle. So what we're gonna do, looks like this thing shut off anyhow, though I didn't want it to, so we got to get this up and running. Start broadcast, add this in, and then we will jump into what looks like us designing some sort of vehicle. But we will also be doing it the Fragaboom way. And what I mean by that is that we will be having full transparency. I wanted to show you guys my process. And I'm also going to show you my Pinterest board. So you can see, and it's not a public board. Eventually, I'll probably let you guys see it. So Pinterest, what I love about Pinterest is that it keeps showing me things that I like. So for example, I was looking at vehicles recently. Look at this cool TerraCorp Lego vehicle. How neat. So then you see another thing like that. That's cool. I like the shape of that. That's cool too. In fact, I like that one a lot. That one gives me that thrill, and it makes my brain do all kinds of crazy stuff. So what I like about it isn't necessarily anything other than its shape. So what I'll do, especially in development, and you might see this in several books, like Scott Robertson's development book, where I think it's called the Skillful Huntsman, where they work things out with silhouette. So what I like about this particular design here is that I like that there's that sort of sitting area. I like that about I forget what it was called, but I drew it in the G.I. Joe cover. It's sort of like this bubble thing. I won't even put the person in it yet. I like the sort of compactness of it all. I like that it's got that compact thing. I like these big round shapes, right? It's got claws and things here, which reminds me of the Ed 209, and maybe it has a wheel in it right there, right? So this is essentially all I will take from this, is I like the shape of it, right? So then here's some other things that have the shapes. Like that's pretty cool. It's got that round shape, and possibly this thing could transform into it. I'll tell you guys about something. In fact, this is reminding me of this. I have an old Black Flag concept that was supposed to be taking place right after Black Flag 4, which this story is taking place after. But the story that I had that takes place after had these things that I called the alpha bots. And what the alpha bots were, they were multitasked. So we had an exosuit. So imagine that Gorilla wore this exosuit that could then turn into a vehicle with him in it, much like this bubble thing that we see here. Imagine he's in the exosuit, it turns into the bubble, but then the bubble comes together and forms like a Voltron guy. not an original concept, but that sort of mashup of things is where it was at, and this was 1995 when I came up with it. And then the way the storyline went was that Ben Gorilla was tinkering with his because he wanted to, instead of giving voice commands, which was, again, something kind of weird back in 1995, he wanted it to link directly into his brain. And during his experimentation, his stuff bonded to him, creating a character that was part cybernetic, part gorilla, and his name was Prime-8, Primate. The only sad part of this tale is that it was almost a McFarlane toy. That McFarlane toy, in fact, made it into a toy magazine as a prototype. I told Todd he could not use it. Todd then used it anyway and changed the name and called it Cygor. So that is a sad tale. I've forgiven Todd. And the Alphabot idea will not go away. And you'll probably end up seeing Primate at some point. But you guys need to know about that. That's what made me think about that, is this here, this really cool robot idea. So anyhow, let's go jump into the Black Flag board. See how we have Black Flag, books worth reading, class, Austin Briggs. Some of these are locked, right? So one of the things I told you guys about, which is not locked, is Notan. This is where I collect images that have Notan, right? Strong contrasting black and white. There's Gerard Zaffino. That's Jorge Zaffino's son. Amazing stuff. All right, but let's go back. Let's go back to see how I have a locked board here called Black Flag, and then I have another one called Black Flag Hell. Black Flag Hell? That's right. You guys remember Hellfire, right? So I figured that hell would be filled with dirty, nasty, ugly things. So what I did is I went and pulled tons of images that I thought looked like they could be in hell. Like I like these horns on this guy, but it also opens up to things like this guy here. Well, let's go to the Black Flag board. See that? We see some things that are vibe, right? I got the Sam Keith. You guys ever see this Sam Keith Batman cover? That's some vibe stuff. Let's go into, see that? That's vibe stuff. This is part of an engine, but then I look at like details like this, and this is what I'm talking about as far as development. I look at this and I think to myself, how can I take this shape that we just created over here by looking at that other one and modifying it by looking at some of the things that we see come up here, right? So look at that. That's neat looking. That's neat looking. It's got that sort of steampunk vibe to it. And the cool thing about Pinterest is as you zoom in, other things that look similar to it will pop up. Other engines and things are coming on here. So then I take a look at this and I think, I like these pipes. I like that shape. Keep it symmetrical. I like that wheel idea. And I'm going to change the scale on it. So the person inside it could be this big, or the person inside it could be this big, and maybe they're laying forward, and their arms come out like this, and they're inside this cockpit controlling, but we don't see their arms, so we do this. Again, this is how I build stuff. I take and I like I said, everything is a remix. Look at that. That's right out of Akira, right? So I knew about the city falling apart in Dagger City. I really enjoyed the look of Otomo's Akira and buildings falling apart. So this kind of stuff gives me a lot of inspiration and whatnot. Here's another one that I think is great. So when I started developing the environments, you're going to see us peek into this stuff. That's why it's in my Black Flag board. Hopefully there's not too many spoilers in here regarding what's going to happen with Black Flag. You can see some other things. Look at that. Some gear. Look at, we're getting into some of the Black Flag headquarters stuff. Huge Kirby fan. So I like, mostly what I'm enjoying about the Kirby stuff is the scale. Again, these are all things that are inspiring. So if let's say I haven't looked this up and I just go robot soldier. I do robot soldier. That's what we're gonna look up. That's cool. We got some Stephen Platt that showed up out of nowhere. Look at that. We just talked about him the other day. Love that piece. This is one of those times I'm like, I forgot about this. So then I say save. You've already saved this pen, it says. So I've actually seen that image before. So here we go into Robot Soldier, and look at, we find another really cool image. Isn't that great? There are little parts of this that I like that bubble area there. I like the way those little things fan onto it like that, and I like the way this bubble wraps around like this. It looks like this person's arms are hanging out too, not unlike what we came up with there. That's great. So we get this, and then maybe what I'll do is change some of the scale on this stuff like that, and invert those round shapes that we saw on that Lego thing and bring them down and around here. So then put a little fin thing on it, this on it, change the shape slightly, maybe I'll put some guns here, and then that's how we start to develop the idea of this thing, and I'm calling this Geisha's thing, right? And what I also want to do when I design this, the kind of thinking I want to do, I don't want to give away all the moments, but why does this ship have wheels? Why does it do what it does? What happens when parts of it are blown out of existence? You know, let's go to the board real quick and see what's happening in the deal. You're dropping frames for a little bit on my end, it says, from Rooster. KS will crowdfund if it's new. If you crowdfund on another platform and it's completed, then you don't need to crowdfund again. The campaign is finished. IGG doesn't have that rule, so they can be second. If you manage to get it on Kickstarter after Indiegogo, then you may have to do exclusive Kickstarter content like Kickstarter exclusive cover and new content in the book. That's interesting. Thank you for that. I had no idea. Hi Dan, this is one of the greatest tips I've ever learned from you. Thank you, Mr. Kromoff. What up, Jason? What up, Comic Vantage? It's good to see you guys. So we are going in on the idea of this vehicle, and we can explore more as we look here. And I go, okay, these are all cool. I'm not seeing anything else that would make me want to change what I've got. But I did see one thing. I saw one thing. I liked the feet on one of these things. I think I missed it. I think it reset, but that's okay. I don't mind. I don't mind that at all, because what I can do is I can include that in here. So this is one vector that we can take this idea, right? So let's take that over here and just set it over there. And then let's go for another idea. And then right now we're working on Geisha's little Iron Man ship suit vehicle thing, okay? Which will be a precursor to the Alphabots. So if we look up here, exosuit, see what Pinterest has to offer as far as exosuits are concerned. And we get some interesting design details like this. So I like this here. I like some of what's going on. Looks like Pinterest froze up, but at least we didn't freeze up on the other one yet. Looks like Pinterest froze up. So all we got to do here is do this, restart Pinterest again. Oh, no, not what I meant to do. Restart Pinterest, slide this up. But Pinterest was kind enough, even though it crashed a little bit, it was kind enough to bring up some other cool stuff like this. How cool is that? What is that? I like that. That gives me ideas. See? Happy accidents. That's what we call these. So I take a look at this. I can do a little zoom on it and see what else pops up. And there we have it. Ladies and gentlemen, that's how you find things on Pinterest. You go and you have accidents and you have weird things like that. So take a look at that. That guy's helmet. That looks awesome. I like that helmet, but I like our original image. It makes me feel a certain way. So, and that's what I go for. When something makes me feel a certain way, much like Marie Kondo says, does this spark joy? If not, get rid of it. I always try to find things that spark joy, and I embrace them. Like wine. What up, Joshua? It's good to see you, sir. Thank you for joining. There's no such thing as late. No such thing as late. We have fun. And today, we don't have a hard cutout, so we can go late if we need to. So what I really like about this image on the left, and I'm going to get my ugly head out of here, that way you guys can see all image, right? Unless you guys want to see more of me, which is doubtful. What I like about this is that part. I like this sort of truncated shape that has this other sort of pipe coming out of it, encased by another shape. I like that, and I'm turning this in my head. I like the pipes that come out kind of like a motorcycle going back, and all the little details. So I'm going to shrink my pen down a little bit and see on this, all around this thing were these bolts that were doing that, and then they had the other ones that were kind of protruding like this. I like that. I like the what do they call that on a castle, turrets or whatever. I like that castling, I guess you would call it. I like the way that looks. So I'll take some of that, make a bigger shape here, and say as a whole, this is what this the shape of this looks like. These need to look more like pipes. Then bring this down like this. Saw some stuff in these shapes that I liked. I really like the framework on that. So I imagine some of the framework coming from this, coming round like that. I really like that this whole area would be hollow and maybe see some cables and such like that. And then if this was on the other side, it would come around like that. This is almost looking insect-like, right? So maybe I do this and give it sort of bug eyes where the person would sit if they were in there. Imagine that they would be that size, like that. Let's see what else we can get out of this. Oh, Pinterest froze again. It's acting a fool. I don't know why Pinterest does that sometimes. Let's see if it's still doing it. I have to crash it out. Sorry about that, guys. Hopefully you're enjoying watching this process. Sometimes Pinterest doesn't like it when I do cool stuff, but again, what do we do on this show when we get lemons? Say, why are you giving me lemons? Back on the screen, back on the screen. Ooh, look at that. That's neat. That has nothing to do with what we're developing, but I like it. It sparks interest, and then it makes me see things like this, and it makes me think of adapting this a little bit, taking on some of the aspects of this thing, like that. The guns here, like that. Take this, move it up and over here. We've got our second vehicle idea, and that came from Happy Accident. Isn't that cool? Happy Accidents. Let's see what we got. What up, Kevlar? You're not late, man. You're not late. You're not late. We are right on time. A wizard is as early or as late as he plans to arrive, or whatever Gandalf said. What up, Hermit Comics? Welcome, man. You made Pinterest cool to me. I used to not understand the purpose behind it. Jason, yeah, man. A lot of the ladies use Pinterest for home decor and craft ideas, and some interior designers use it for home ideas. Some people use it for dieting ideas. Some people use it for fashion ideas, like, oh, I'm gonna go to the prom, and they pull up stuff. I learned to use it while I was at Mattel, and we were doing development on Monster High. In fact, that's where I learned how to use it. We also used it for Ever After High. So if I go down to let's see, look, ooh, girls, hey girl. Let's see, go down here, MH New. So Monster High. This is an old board, so we can look at this. We were exploring different fabrics and ideas for Monster High, and you can see where some of the things went, you know. So this was for Monster High, and we were exploring colors, we were exploring things like that. So what I found, and here's Wonder, we had a Ever After High. So this was another one where we were finding things like that was a sort of an inspiration of for the Dark Queen. So anyway, what's great about it, again, is my favorite part is, let's say we take this. This is something I really liked. It almost looks like a Stephen Platt drawing, but it isn't. But what it does is it pops up these other things. Like, look at that. How badass is that? Then I zoom in and go, he's cool. He's a wild man. And then I go, oh, look. Another cool looking wild man. Cool proportions. I like that rendering. Oh, look, here's another thing that's got cool rendering. So it's sort of rabbit hole like, right? Feels a little bit like a rabbit hole. But if you ride the snake, as they say, and just go with it, you and learn how to use it with purpose. Like we say today, we're looking for vehicle stuff, right? So if I go in here now, and you notice I have yet to search for the concept vehicles, right? But if I type in futuristic war vehicle, that's pretty straightforward, right? So we get a lot of stuff when it pops up, right? But not a lot of it is blowing me away. That first one was, but when you look at this, you go, hey, I bet this guy was either inspired by the Batmobile or the Batmobile inspired this. But what's great about this is, let's say we get in there and we go, let's take a look at what's going on here. I like that shape. And when we go into here, we start seeing some more things that are gray and whatnot. And see that? Here we go. That's old school, but that gave me an idea. So what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to say, I like the idea of this tube shape. I like the idea of the person being back here, kind of riding it like it's their Big Johnson. Especially if it's a girl, it's a statement. I like this other shape here. Right now it's a wheel. I like the weight of the thing behind it. And then if we put the wheel down here, and then I say, okay, if this has got the control, what happens when I put this shape on top of it? Then we take that, I'm going to make it smaller so we can mess with it even more. So here's that shape. Bring the scale of my marker down. What I might do, because I don't really like the size and scale of the driver, I'm gonna cut that. I'm gonna say I want the driver this big and I want this like that, right? What else is in here? Not much. Got some sidecar action. So let's go back. We go back a couple to vehicles and see other things. Boom. I like that, right? That's really cool. So and I'll take this and I'll say, what do I like about it? I like that centered drivetrain idea. I like that the guns are riding a little high. I like that there's a bit of an arc and aggressiveness to the way that goes, and that it goes in threes. Put that wheel here, make that front wheel big. Put some pipes coming back here. Put some no wings on it. I'm not going to put any wings on it. There we go. Let's take that, size it up a little bit to go along with the rest of these, and jump in on another one. That's what we'll do, is just do another one. Let's see. That's why I like YouTube. I'm constantly wondering how I get here. Yes. Art book for the last Mad Max movie with some great stuff. Yeah. Chris Bocello's tech. Yeah, he's great. My brain don't work like this. LOL. It will though, man. We can do it. Have you guys checked out Jonathan Wayshack? His mechanical tech stuff is stellar. Dance stuff is inspirational as well. Thank you, Jason. Yeah, he's what Shack is great. He's a nice guy. He and I chat every now and then on Instagram. He's a super talented dude. Chauncey, Kirby's Tech, leaves me jonesing. That's right. So why don't we do that then? Let's just take a whole nother vector on some vehicle design right now and write in Kirby Tech. Jack Kirby Tech popped up. Look at that. So here we go. We got some of the stuff that we've seen before. I've even got that shirt. I don't know why Stan the Man is in that picture, but let's look at this one. That's very colorful. So let's do the, see, that's a Redbubble thing. Somebody jacked that. Don't like Redbubble. All right, here we are with a bunch of other Kirby pieces. There we go. That's something we're looking for. And there's something closer to what we're looking for. We saw one of those earlier today, this one here. There. Let's look at that. Let's just use this as a start, okay? So it's big and blocky. Looks like he starts with a big shape first. So let's call it a toaster. And then we'll run a big ring around it. Another ring. Big cylinder. Something else like that. Here we go. There's a Kirby vehicle. Again, this stuff is you want it to be inspired by, but not derived from, if that makes sense. You don't ever want anything to feel derivative. Smaller. You can see they're all going from left to right as well. See, I like that one a lot. Another one, this is some guy's face, but we also get the idea of this sort of shield. Person would write it like this. You can see that one's a bit sloppier, but it's enough shape for me to work with. If I decide this is one I'm going to develop further, it's enough shape for me to work with. But again, you could see how we took the idea of Jack Kirby Tech and messed with it. Still dig the red bike and Akira. Yeah. Lord of Light. Mike Taylor, what up, man? Good to see you, dude. I like seeing the chat full. More humans means a lot more art and stuff to discuss. Correct. Kirby's work is from the fourth dimension. It certainly is. Let's go now again, let's write something down like flying motorcycle. There we go. Some of these things exist in real life, right? So I like this concept here. This goes back almost to that first drawing that we did, or at least that, what did Spencer Brewster Puncher call it? Something Lego Slug or Lego something. But I go in here and I see really cool concepts like this one. It's interesting. It's interesting. Here we go, some blocky one. This one is a little more in the realm of geisha, right? Like the kind of stuff we've seen her wear. We've seen this sort of thing back in the 1993. Here's another sort of concept where the tech is connected to the rider. Yet another one. I like that one a lot. So we'll take that one and see what we can do with it. So what I like about it is the big wheel and the aggressive aspect of it. Anything that looks like it's lunging forward is something that I would call aggressive, like an old Corvette has an aggressive look to it. This thing here, I want it to feel aggressive, so put that there. It's got one wheel on it. Guns, aerodynamics, intake. Person would be about that size. Feet go back. Boom. Put these guns here. Put a fin back there. Put some black on that tire. And then there's that one. So we have another one that we can come up with from looking at that thing. And then we could look at other things again, like look at that, how cool is that? Or this very much looks like a bike out of Return of the Jedi, but kind of cooler. I like that aspect that the wheels are sort of sideways. So I see this, you got your two wheels, it looks like there's like a chunk of something and it gets thin here, right? We make these sort of like hover things. Air goes out here, make the person even smaller. No, don't need those. I do like how this part here flips up though. I like that aspect of it because it changes the direction of the design a little bit. You got this aggressive thing moving this way, but all of a sudden something pops, boop, like that. So it gives it a little bit of a different thing. And I also like the old school sort of engine aspect of that there. Let's see what's popping up when we scroll. Look at all of these little bad boys coming in here. That guy's neat, right? Like how cool is that? Looks like a Formula One race car that's been blown apart. That's neat. There it is. You can get it at Target. It's a die-cast model. What does it look like? Oh, see? That's just that car blown apart. But blown apart look at what happens when you look at that. The inspiration that happens for me is the idea that you have this sort of bug-shaped deal in the middle, these things, these almost sort of pontoons coming off the edge in 4, almost looking like a crab, right? And then if we put round things on each of those, like that, suddenly we have a whole nother design, or at least the basis of a design, right? So what are we at now? That was number 7. That was number 7 of an exploration of a concept. Let's jump into the board real quick. Let's see who's in here. Geiger's Tech is both sexy and scary. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I like sloppy line work and stuff. The guts of a piece are great. Derek Hess is a great example. I'm going to have to check him out. Flying with a Baby made me think of throwing a baby. No idea why. Hoverboards can't go over water unless you got power. That's Jason Scott Lee saying that, right? Late Kick, what's up, dude? It's good to see you. Friday cheers to you from Chauncey. Was actually off today, got tatted today, so it was great. Hope yours was well. Man, that's cool, man. Being able to get a tattoo. I need to get another one, but I think my wife is got to get hers first because, well, I got one last. And fair is fair. I'm gonna change the size on this this crab thing and maybe move it back, or move it forward, or move it up, or move it back. I like it back right there. So then I take that, and let's say it's dual mode. So now we put another one up underneath here, like that, and then put a little fin thing on it, like this, and a longer edge on this. And there we go. We have another one. Let's go for number 8 and see what else we can find. We already looked at the idea of flying bike, right? That's where we were last. What are other things that are fun to look at? So I think what I'll do is look at, these are all just search words. Futuristic, sea creatures. What? Sea creatures? Yeah, they're flying through space, man. They're flying through liquid space. So these are other interesting things to consider and look at. For example, look at this bad boy. Look at that. That to me is super cool. And we see some other fun shapes in here from that. But I'm going to zoom in on this and see what else shows up. Oh my goodness. Some really cool things. But I'm going to stick with this bad boy and look at his shape. It's kind of fat in the front. Comes back. Has a second thing that comes back. And another thing that hangs with another bit of weight that comes down like this. This is ultimately what I appreciate about this shape, is this aspect of it. Okay? So from this, look at some other things. I like the shell, the techno shelling of this. So maybe I'll sectionalize this aspect of it based on that. This here. This. That almost has a Geiger-esque tail, right? So then I think of some other shapes. Like a motorcycle engine. You'll see the things that I know come up, right? We'll say this is a gun. so many more just from looking at sea creatures, right? So let's go back here. Anything else that looks fun? Oh, that's some crazy shit. See, I like that. It's a clam man, right? What do I like about that is some of those barnacle things that are on it. Say the person's in here. And there we have it. Let's kick Pinterest out of there and look at what we have. We have 8 basic vehicle designs from just messing around on Pinterest. So let's just real quick write A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and H. Now what I do from here when I develop things is I will duplicate this layer like this. I will turn off the one below it. I'll erase out these letters like this. And then what I'll do from here is I will do, I may just take this and, whoops, oh, didn't mean to do that. Take this, flip it horizontally so I get a different sort of angle on it. And this is all just to like trick your brain a little bit into seeing different things. Or I may take this, move it down, make it smaller, move it down here, take this guy here, move him here, flip him, take this guy here, flip him, also distort it a little bit. Take this one down here, flip it as well. You'll see what I'm doing in a sec if it isn't making sense to you yet. This one I'm also gonna warp a little bit. There we go. Take our first one that we did, move it. Oh, didn't mean to do that. I meant to move it. I meant to move it. Flip horizontal. Okay. So then what I do from here, now that we have different looks on things, is I will play with proportions of things, right? So maybe what I'll do is I'll take this, I'll do a copy, a paste, I'll move it up here. I'm going to flip it back, but I'm going to take this front end off of it, right? Cut. Now I'm going to merge it down, take the front end of this, do a copy, paste. Say, okay, I like the way that looks. Merge down. Go into it and start putting new details on it, because I like some of the other shapes of the other things. And now I have a whole nother vehicle option. Based on taking the parts of that other one. So I can do the same thing for this. You saw us distort this one already. If I take this and I say let's warp this one a little bit. Let's make it sort of like a little curved. Let's do that. Curved out. Now let's take this one for example. This one that you just saw me do a sloppy loppy version of. And I'm going to take this, I'm going to reduce the opacity down on it. I'm going to create a new layer. And if I was to develop this one, and this isn't even one of my favorites, if I was to develop this one, I would take this drawing as it is and I would start to draw things on top of it that were tighter and kind of what they call in animation tying it down. Man, I got something going on crazy with my sinuses right now. And these details I'm just making up as I go to complement the shapes that we've already put down. And from this step, I would even go further. I would refine parts. There we go. And if I turn this off, you can see, like, there we have what looks like kind of a decent 80s toy design, right? Out of nothing. We did that, as you can see, we did that by just playing around with shapes and ideas. But if we continue to do that with these 8, then we could also take it along with these 8 and then present 16 ideas, right? If we were presenting, right? But this is just for us and for Black Flag and sort of the idea of some vehicle design. That is one way. So we have we are on our way to a few designs for Geisha's vehicle. How cool is that? Drawing buildings are my hell, he says. Let's see. Lot of talking. Let me catch up. Easy day at work. Looks like the Thundercats vehicle. Yeah. Oh yeah. Michael Green, Matrix. Kind of reminds me of the Alien and Starship Troopers. Yeah. Looks like evil Mike Wazowski. Mike Wazowski! Oh, it's finished. Half hour ribcage. Oh man, that hurts just thinking about it. Sentimental, yes. I need to practice drawing Death Wish Era New York rundown buildings. Rooster Puncher. A lot of really good websites for that. Also, we can go. Let's go over to Pinterest real quick. Okay, let's do that. We're in Pinterest. Go like this. Type in late 70s New York. Here we go. So you got start getting in here. Start getting in here and look at here, buddy. As promised, we get some of these funky things, and then you go, okay, I like this street scene from New York in the 70s. Then you start looking at things like that, and then you get more and more and more and more and more. That is the beauty of Pinterest, my friends. Leg kick. Yes, this is exactly how my process works when I design stuff. A lot of stuff I pull out directly out of my head. Like I've said in other streams, I will just do the thing I see in my head. Then I'll jump into reference, and then I'll do exactly what I showed you today. And I'll do that with aliens. I'll do that with pretty much anything, because the internet is a powerful thing. Give us some fun ideas. Hybrids. What did Kevlar Blast Shield draw buildings are my hell? Yeah, that's why he drew the cape big. That's funny. I hate drawing them. Is why I'm forcing myself to practice. Good man. I'm glad to hear that, Rooster Puncher. Let's see. Crumbling buildings are actually fun. Yes, absolutely. Ruins are fun. Yes. Sick stuff, Mr. Dan. Thank you, dude. I appreciate it. Good. Make sound effects when drawing crumbling things. Yes. As do I. I make noises. I make crazy expressions. All those fun things. Oh, did I tell you guys? Black Flag returns. Thought you guys knew that, and you definitely do. Put that on top there. Go like this. A, B, shown. Black Flag returns. And then we go back to this ugly mug right here. Gentlemen, we've been going for an hour and 34 minutes without the stream crashing. How is that even possible? It's a good day. It's November 1st. You're watching Couchdoodles Live. It is the Black Flag Development Edition, where this month we will be having guests talking about the good old days, and also having me kill 2 birds. That's 4 birds. 2 birds with 1 stone by developing some of this stuff as you guys are here to watch it happen. So some of those ideas may make their way into the comic. I might continue further. Usually what I do, if I don't have a distinct idea, I will I'll do about 20 versions. In fact, somewhere in one of my sketchbooks I have the Black Flag transport ship, which I'm excited to develop. Thank you, Jason. Can we see what's on your comic rack? Leg kick. Absolutely. Let's take the POV cam and jump right into taking a look at what is on the spinner rack. Boom. There's my feet. Looking at my feet. There, that was all zoomed in. Oh, my back. I got that, I told you guys about this. That Amazing Heroes #1 came in the mail today. It happens to have, let me shake it out.